Okay, so as the chandelier is drying upstairs, I am working on the next piece for the antique booth. I love chalk paint, wax over chalk paint. I just love that look. I had thought about doing the legs differently, like restaining them. Ready for the feet reveal in 3, 2, 1. Ta-da! Don't they look great? So, walnut by Minwax gel. I didn't really get down and deep when I was sanding them off, and I don't think you need to if you go a darker stain. So just know that you don't have to take it all the way off. In fact, if I kept the stain on and just did the gel stain over it, it would have refreshed it because that was the color of it anyway. It was this like mahogany color. So it would have just refreshed it. I just didn't know what direction I wanted to go to, but I am just digging these two colors together. Okay, with our fresh can of Caviar by Dixie Belle, we're just gonna do these little spaces here and there that I missed, and then we're gonna flip this over and do the second coat with supervision, of course. right, so I have flipped over our table, our double drop leaf table, and I've placed the first coat on the upright position. But I want to show you this top. It is gorgeous. I love the kind of raw, unfinished look, and I like the distress of this table. I'm just going to top coat it, and I do know that it's a table people are going to be putting some things that are wet, like a cup or such, down, and I do want to top coat this, but I don't want to lose all this beautiful like dings and stuff like that. Wax isn't all that great of a water protectant or a water sealer. I like the matte look of it. Now, I did not show this on camera. Here, I'm going to put you down. I did not show you this on camera, but I did do the oven cleaner stripping method that you see kind of all over the internet. And I have some thoughts on that. Although it looks easy, it is sorry, I'm still getting over this thing. Even though it seems easy, you just spray it on, you wait 20 minutes, and then you just take a scrub brush and scrub it off. It takes a bit of elbow grease to scrub it off. Now, most of the time people are using the blonde furniture for the oven cleaner method, and I think it does work better for the lighter woods and or wood that is just varnished or has a failing finish. That it seems to work wonderful for. But any type of painted surface, it does not work well. And this happens to be a very dark mahogany wood, and it worked okay. I still had it sanded. So this is after the oven cleaner method and sanded. And maybe one of these days, I don't have a piece right now in my arsenal over there. I don't have a piece right now to do the oven cleaner method, but the next time I find a piece and I want to do the oven cleaner method, I'll make a video of it. It has to be an all wood piece of furniture. It can't have any press wood, and it can't have any like particle board, because you're hosing it down. It has to be all 100% wood. If you get a particle wood or that press wood wet, it just bubbles and disintegrates, and there goes your piece. So there is a specific type of furniture that you can use for that method. You can't just pick up anything and do that method. It stinks, even though it says fume free. It stinks. It's messy. It is so messy, so you will have to do it outside. But it kind of lifts off that top kind of covering or finish that you had. The reason why I did it on this piece, knowing full well it's a very dark piece and it had a very dark finish on it, I did it on this one because whomever owned this before had a lot of that. They cleaned it with, I think, Murphy oil soap or Pledge, and it had such a build up of chemicals on it. So I did strip it for that reason, to kind of lift off all that stuff, and so I can clean it and sand, let it dry and then sand it. That's the whole reason why I did it on this piece. But in the future, if I find a piece, I will definitely kind of bring you along while we do that method. I've done it several times. With the chest, that we painted green. I did it on that and this piece and one other, oh, the chair. I did it on a chair. And if you have to refinish chairs and they don't have paint on it and it has that oil-based finish or a regular finish and it's failing, it works great on chairs. So because sanding chairs is like horrific. It is like a nightmare that I never want to do. So it's good on those pieces, and I did it on those pieces. It's better than the orange stripper or stripper. Anyway, on this piece here, we're going to top coat it, and then I'm going to distress it. So the painted part is going to really tie into this part here that is kind of, you know, that old world, it's been around my family forever, heirloom kind of piece. I want that kind of French country cottage feel. That's why I went from this piece, but with a slight twist of moody because it's black and I love black. I love the color black. So enough chit chat. Let's get this top part just kind of a nice clear coat. And then after we clear coat it, then we can wax it. It'll have time that it's cured and we'll wax it. But let's protect our beautiful finish here.
I go for the gold. I never thought you were easy prey. I just knew I was sold. You probably knew all along what my intentions were.
Here she is after all top coated. I think it's stunning. I knew it was going to turn out great. So one way you can check how the top of the wood is going, or how the wood is going to look after you top coat it, is after you sand it down, get a wet cloth and clean it off, and the water will bring out the color of the wood. So I knew it was going to turn out this gorgeous because I did that. After I sanded, I wiped it down with a clean cloth. Number one, to get the dust off. But number two, I do that just to see. No, kitty, it's still drying. Oh no, I know you want to jump up there so bad. I do that to get the dust off, but I also do that to see what it's going to look like if I just put a clear coat on it. And it lets me know whether I need to tone the wood before I put that top coat on. So if ever you want to know what that wood's going to look like after you sand it and say, should I tone it, or what's this going to look like after I go through all this effort, just wipe it down. Just wipe it down with some water. It will pop up the grain, and that's okay. The reason why the wood will swell is porous. So if you get it wet, it's going to swell, and that's okay to do too as well, because then when you top coat it, it allows the top coat to penetrate a little bit deeper down into the wood, and it just shows you what the wood will look like, and it also helps pop that wood enough for the top coat to penetrate the surface of it and get a really good adhesion bond to it to make it very protective, no matter what you're using. No matter if you're using an oil top coat or a water-based top coat or Odie's oil, whatever you have, you want to pop
the wood. You want to pop the grain just a little bit, enough for all that good protective material to penetrate the surface. And it turned out amazing. Now it just needs to cure. It's dry to the touch, but I want it to be a little bit drier before we go and distress it. Because yes, I am going to distress it. Do you see what I'm talking about now? Look at how beautiful that wood is with all its little nicks and dings, and then with the black and it being distressed. It just looks like moody French country to me. I love it.
'Cause I can see the light of lust shining, baby, from behind those bedroom eyes. And when I see the light of lust shining, don't you know that I just wanna hear you sigh? Here we are, back at your place. You put on Marvin's Gaye. Oh, won't you come a little closer, baby? Tonight's gonna go our way. Yes, I can see the light of lust shining, baby, from behind those bedroom eyes. And when I see the light of lust shining, don't you know that I just wanna hear you sigh? How many wonderful things can really happen in the course of one night? As if the darkness grew wings and just took off the flight. Oh, I can see the light of lust.
Okay, so our last little thing that we need to do on our table is we need to wax it. We need to protect it. So this has that top coat on it, and so it makes it nice and waterproof. But when you paint with chalk paint, chalk is porous, and it likes to soak up things, and it will reconstitute when you get it wet. So that's why when you wet sand, it kind of smooths out your brush strokes. So you do need to top coat it with something. The best thing, if it's not going to be in a high traffic place, the best thing to top coat your piece is with wax. And this is one of my favorite waxes. I like this one, and hold on. So I also like the Chippy Barn paint too. I love the Chippy Barn paint. I am not a dealer or representative as of yet. If Chippy Barn, if you're watching, you can give me a call anytime. Send me a text. Anyway, this is one of my favorite paints too, and they're wax. But since I used Dixie Belle's paint, I thought it would be a great opportunity to use the Dixie Belle's Big Mama's Butter. And of course, I like the orange scent. The scent doesn't stay for very, very long, but it's pleasurable right now while I'm waxing, so I might as well just enjoy the scent. Again, the scent will go away. It will take about 30 days for it to harden into a nice, solid finish that is going to be really durable. I've already done half of our table and then the other half, because I want to show you the difference between not waxing and letting it be. And you certainly can do that if you don't mind the marks that it will, you know, occur over time. I like to make my finishes, my pieces a little bit more durable. So this is with wax and this is without wax. So can you see the difference? There's just kind of like that subtle sheen to it. And the more you buff out the wax, the higher the sheen will be. So with wax, without wax. I don't know if you can tell, but this is with wax, this is without wax. So I'll bring you close and I'll show you how I do the waxing. It's not hard, guys. I just use the best staying brush. Do you have to use these Dixie Belle products? No, I just like it. It just fits good in my hand because I hold it like this and I rub it into the paint. You want that paint to grab a hold of the protective nature of the wax. So you really want to work it in. I was really hesitant at first. All you do is dab, 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 and you will get a lot of product off. If you want to kind of take a little bit off, you're more than welcome to. It's very soft. But at first, when I started waxing, I was really, really timid and shy and cautious. And I was just like, oh no, no, no. This is all I want to do. I want to do it really, really light because I don't want to mess up my paint. No, that's not what you want to do. You want to get into it. You want it to really work into the wood, into the paint. And that's what's going to give it its nice protective nature, because you are mixing this wax in with the wood. And the benefit, since we distressed our piece, let me roll up my sleeves. So since we distressed this piece, the wax is actually going to help bring that wood tone in too. So it's going to really kind of highlight that wood as well, so it doesn't look like it's kind of lost in that distressing. So work it in. Really, really good. Do you need a brush? No. You can just use a cloth if you want, a sock, something lint free, because it's going to be a protective nature. Any lint will get kind of embedded into that wax and it'll dry with the wax. So if you do, like I said, if you do it with any kind of fabric material, make sure it's lint free. I just use these shop towels just so I can throw them away when I'm all done. So work it really, really in, and you want it to kind of stay like this, kind of wet. I would use the word moist, but nurses don't like that word. And my kids, as all kids do when they find out your weak point, they like to say it over and over and over again. So I don't like that word. But you want to really work it into the paint, okay? Really work it into that paint. Get that paint nice and protected. Since this is going to go into the booth, I want it to be nice and protected for whoever that's going to buy it. So we are going to work it right in to that paint, make it nice and delicious. Smells great. We want extra to be in it. We want it to have some extra product on it. And the reasoning why is we're gonna buff it out, right? So we want to work that product in, and we wanted to give it some little extra because we're gonna let it sit and soak for about 20 minutes or so. And after 20 minutes, then we're gonna come back in and then we'll wipe it all off and buff it out and make sure that everything is nice and blended. But that soaking in, that 20 or 30 minutes for that product to penetrate into the paint, to make a great adhesion, protective nature. That's what it needs. It needs that time to kind of like soak into it. So we're going to continue to put the product on, just brush it on. It does not have to be perfect whatsoever. You're not going to see this part at all. You just want to get into all the little nooks and crannies and make sure that all that good stuff is in all the parts that it needs to be. And I haven't dipped my brush back in there. So a little bit goes a long way, guys. I'm gonna finish up here and then I will hop back on when it's time to buff this all out. Okay guys, now it's time to buff. It's been on for about 28 minutes. And so I just use these shop towels. I just have what's on hand that's lint free, because remember, we want to not get any lint in it. If you guys happen to catch the other video, you will know that I had some oral surgery, and there are some words that I cannot pronunciate because I had bone graft placed. So it's kind of hard for me to move this side of my mouth, lower part of my mouth right now, because I'm healing. Still a little discomfort if I talk too much, but I can't really move my mouth well right now. It'll heal in about 4 to 6 months, I think. We'll check. Well, the dentist will check. That's that's you know what he does, right? So with this, I just buff out the extra. So just wipe down the extra. Around anything round, I usually go like this. And I just move down the leg. I try to work smarter and not harder. Same thing on the other side. And I try to get all 4 sides so I can like, so I can get all of them, right? I want to get all the sides, and I want to work that product even more into the paint. The more you rub, the higher the sheen will be. So I just go until it looks right. Now, there is a time that this starts kind of breaking down, and so I just get another one. You just want to kind of take off the excess product so it doesn't look kind of slimy or anything like that anymore. Work the product into the paint, and then guys, it's as easy as letting it sit and cure. So this bad boy is not going to go into the booth right away. It actually has to cure for some time. I probably will bring it into the booth earlier than the 30 days because it takes a while for painted furniture to sell in my area, but we won't put anything on it right now. You don't want to put anything on it right now. You want to have this cure before you put any kind of like objects in it that you can, like any candles or anything wet or anything like that, because it will leave little rings. Guys, I'm gonna finish doing this, and I'll stage it up for you guys so you can see what it looks like all staged up and protective finish on it. I hope you enjoyed this sweet little video tutorial that I made for you guys. If you like what you're seeing, if you wouldn't mind giving the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not subscribed already. I do lots of little videos here and there about remodeling, rebuilding, vintage, thrifting, junking, antique booth, all the fun things. If that is your jam, if that is what you like, you know, stay a while, watch all the other videos. I would love you to be in our family. We're growing our sweet little channel. Anyway, you guys stay amazing. You're amazing. And I will see you in the next video. I hope you have an amazing day. Bye, guys.